Hello, I'm Daniela. In today's video, I wanted to give an update on the Stitch With Me in 2023 online workshop. Now, 6 prompts have been released. That means we're 6 months into the year. Each month, in the beginning of each month, a new prompt is released, and then the members of the group, which can be anyone and you can join at any time, create a little card that resembles the prompt, or is inspired by the prompt, or has some connection to the prompt. There's a lot of variation in the results. We have a Facebook group. The members range in age from children until we have a really great senior who's 95 who does exemplary work. Each of these people that post their work bring with them some of their experience and styles to their posts. So it's clear to see when you have somebody who's a hand quilter, or a mixed media artist, or somebody who's partial to the color blue, or somebody that likes to put flowers or birds in their work. It shows up, and their style not only shows up really evidently, but sometimes the people don't even realize they have a style of their own. Through doing any type of project through time, you'll start to see your style develop. And your style can change through the years or even the project. Some people like to classify it by a style like modern era or Victorian era, and that's fine. You can classify it however you like. But you'll see, depending on the prompt and the activity, that your style might change based on your inspiration and your experiences from the past. Now, we have over 3,000 members on this Facebook group, and it is a fabulous group. People post their work. It's not required to post your work, but it is encouraged because you get a lot of encouragement from the group members. People are excited to see what other people do. Prompts are released in the beginning of each month. Now, we are halfway through the year, so I have 6 prompts that I've completed. Let me show you them really quickly. So just to recap, these are my cards for the Stitch With Me in 2023. I have January, February, March, April, May, and June. And eventually they'll go into the little book at the end of the year, and that's what the little holes at the end of the cards are for. So those are my 6 prompts. As I said, you can join this workshop at any time throughout the year. You might want to go back and redo some prompts. That's totally fine too. This is really up to you and how much effort and time you want to put into your prompts. By all means, if you want to do the workshop and only complete 1 prompt, well, that's up to you. And if you want to complete 1 prompt many times, that's up to you as well. The idea here is that it's a way to express yourself and your creativity through the use of whatever media you choose. Now, the majority of people use some form of textile to complete the prompts. And that's really up to you, what you like to do. We have some mixed media artists who do beautiful work as well. The idea is that we're unified by a prompt and an inspiration, but that inspiration can take you anywhere. And that's what makes it very exciting to see how one prompt, for example, the word map, all the different ways people took that prompt and made it their own. And it always had some connection to the theme map. The same thing happened with window. We got a lot of different versions of windows, what windows meant to different people, and they were stunning, absolutely stunning. I can't wait to see what you continue to make throughout the year. So feel free to post at any time. If you want to post in November your January prompt, or you want to redo it, go right ahead. We look forward to seeing your work. For the next 6 months, we'll continue with the prompts, and at the end of the year, I'll show you how I bind them all together. Now, for the backing of the prompts, I had some ideas on that. I was going through my work, and I wasn't sure if I was going to use fabric, or I was just going to write on them, or just leave them plain, because the options are endless. I decided I wanted to record some of my thoughts on those prompts. I wanted to make sure I had the prompt and the date, and then what led me to that prompt. Now, some are obvious when it looks like a window or a porthole, but others may be not so obvious, like the prompt ANEW. That's kind of a conceptual one versus an actual tangible one. I was giving some thought to the cards because they'll go in the book one by one. Here's the spine, and you'll be able to flip through the book. But I wanted to do something on the back, and I wasn't sure of what I'd do. I was considering fabric and whatnot, but I decided I needed some more identification on my tags. Now, this is something optional. You can do this or not. It's just an idea that I had that you might find useful. So I created little 4x3-inch cards here, just on a piece of paper that I printed out on my computer. And each one of them will be cut out to just a little shy of 4x3 inches that I have here. So this one is January's with ANEW. What I did was I wrote the date, the prompt, and then my definition, or the definition I chose to focus on, because a lot of these words and themes and ideas have many definitions. So for this, I'm just going to attach it to the back, but I'll do that later in the year. There are other options you can do for that. You can use just a piece of fabric or felt, and then eventually it will go right into the spine. But on the back there, I have my version of the prompt and what I chose to use for it, or the supplies, or the idea in my head. In this case, for ANEW, I gave new life to those little lace flowers. And in thinking about it in consideration, it reminded me of my grandmother. And that was something that was very sweet when I realized why I really am partial to lace and whatnot. She had a lot of crocheted elements in her home. So when I see that, I think of her. So that's really my attraction to that piece. I did the same thing for each of these pieces, saying either why I chose to do that technique or that piece, or something about the material that I used, or if I liked the result and what I liked about it. So it just makes it a little more personal. It's just something that I can incorporate into my work. And I'll just stick them in my little folder where I save my cards until the end of the year. So that's something that you might consider doing for the back of your pieces. Some were very personal to me, like something that reminded me of my grandmother. And other things, well, they just happened along. They weren't personal at all. That's what makes this so exciting to me anyway, is that you get so much variation. I enjoy making all the prompts. They don't all come out perfectly like I want, but it's the process that I truly enjoy. I hope you'd consider joining our group on Facebook. There's no charge for this group. You just sign up and join in, and you could post your work or any questions. A few days before the prompt is released for the beginning of each month, the prompt is released in the Facebook group, because some of you really enjoy seeing that ahead of time. And if you're not on Facebook, well, that's okay. I release the prompt here a few days in advance in the community section. I just make a little post. And that way you can start thinking about it before I release the video, where I show what I did with the prompt and maybe offer some advice on stitching or some techniques. Now, I also wanted to bring up my channel membership. Now, this is a paid membership. It's a little monthly fee, and you get some behind-the-scenes footage, access to my slow stitching library that I show for members only, and some posts that might interest you. I'll include the link below so you can join that at any time. And I hope you do consider doing that. I want to thank the Stitchers who have already become paid members. It means so much to me to have your support and your input. I appreciate all the comments. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe. And thank you for joining me today.